So over in our mini catalog, we talked about what's retiring and about what's carrying over to the new catalog. And I'm sure many of you remember the tulip, the flowering tulips bundle will carry over to the new catalog, but the tulip fields bundle will not, okay? So be aware of that if you're interested in it. The ribbon will carry over to the new catalog as well as the butterflies. And the tulip paper will retire, okay? So be aware of those things. There's some beautiful samples in this catalog. Here's the tulip bundle. When it carries over, you will not save 10%. You'll have to purchase your stamp set separate from your dies, okay? And then this is the one that we're working with this evening. And with this set, you're going to notice these are the stamped images. And I'm going to show you the dies. Here is the actual stamp set. And these are the dies, okay? So you may be wondering, what is a Christmas tree being in the Tulip Fields bundle or with the die set? This is not tulips. Excuse me, it's not Christmas trees, it's tulips, okay? So there are all these little tulips here, even though it does look like a Christmas tree. And then we've got this piece right here. Again, it is tulips, okay? So let's look at what the dies can do. And I still need to cut out the fences for this chart, but we're going to do that this evening. I'm going to show you how to cut the fences out. They're teeny tiny little fences, and we're going to use some adhesive paper, adhesive sheets, and do that together. So these are the Windmill Fields dies right here. And there is a stamped windmill right here that you can cut out. You get two different size clouds. You get a large tree, and then you get some smaller trees. Okay, they look like they're in the distance. And then you get a bicycle. You also get the outline of the windmill. Then you get the detailed part of the windmill that you can layer on top. And then we have these paddles. Now, I still haven't Googled the parts of a windmill, okay? So I have no idea what we really call these, but this piece you're gonna layer on these two. So on Tuesdays, I always do a Be Creative tip at 2 o'clock Eastern on Tuesdays. And so yesterday when I did that, I showed you how to actually attach this to the windmill, but you're probably gonna see me do that again, so. Anyway, Gail, that is great news. I'm glad you've gotten home from taking your friend to the hospital, and I'm glad she got such a great report. What a relief. What a relief for your friend, definitely. All right, now down here at the bottom, you're gonna see these little tulips. They're little blooms, okay? And that's one strip. And it does come with the fence, and I'm going to show you the fences now, and we will be cutting some out, okay? You get 4 of these little fences, and let's see if I can lift one of these up here, okay? Let's see if I can get that up. Okay, so you're going to get 4 of these right here, okay? And then you're going to get a larger fence right here, okay? All right, and that just makes it longer. You're gonna see me do that as well, okay? So everything's been cut but that. And then also in the stamped image, you get this really pretty little border that you can stamp on a card, okay? Hi, Sue, welcome. Thank you, Terry, thank you so much. That means so much to me. I am so glad. Oh, good. Carol Hodges says they're technically called sails or blades. Well, blades definitely make sense, Carol. So thank you for enlightening us because I've been meaning to look it up. We're going to also be using this tonight. It's Happy and Heartfelt. It's a stamp set, and it's also located in the mini. And I can probably tell you what page that's on. Let's see, what's it called? Happy and Heartfelt. So let me see here. Why can't I find it? EFGH. It is on page 51. Okay, Happy and Heartfelt, page 51. All right, sorry, that took me a few minutes to look that up. So, Kisha says the fences are so cute, but they're so tiny. Oh my gosh, tell them, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, Kisha says one of the fences got stuck in her cat's fur. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious, Kisha. I know they're so tiny and I'm so afraid I'm gonna lose them. So anyway, all right, so let me get that out of the way. And we are going to start with this card this evening, okay? And we are gonna make it a little bit different, okay? So, and I'm probably gonna do the same one. I'm being really ambitious tonight, right? Thinking outside the lines and making something totally different. Okay, so hang on. I have put all my card pieces in this packet, okay? By the way, if you're playing bingo with me, each one of your make and takes is in its own separate bag. So it'll be real easy for you to pull out the materials needed to make the card that we're working on. So that's what I've been working on, bingo stuff, bingo kits. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to take this soft suede and I do want to cut out some fences, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. And that means that I am going to grab my adhesive sheets, okay? Now these are in the annual catalog and they're item number 152334. I'm glad y'all are excited about bingo. It's gonna be fun. These sheets are in the annual book. They will be available in the new book as well. They measure 6 inches by 12 inches, okay? And you can cut them down, which is exactly what we're going to do now. So I have a bit of a scrap right here, and I'm gonna move the card out of the way, okay? All right, and let's see. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna use my older scissors, okay, so that I don't get adhesive on my paper snips, okay? And I'm going to trim a piece. So for those of you who haven't used adhesive sheets yet, I think you're gonna love them after we do this. All right. Okay, and it's not straight, all right, but that's no big deal, okay? So now we've got our piece of soft suede, and right here I can actually peel off. And here is that other paper piece that I am peeling off. And now I am going to adhere it to the soft suede cardstock because I want my fences to be in soft suede, okay? Now the next thing I'll do is, let's just grab these fences. And while I'm at it, I'm just gonna use the dies, every single one of the dies, and cut them. Y'all can see how tiny they are. All right. So you get one long fence and then you get 4 small ones. Now, 2 of these little fences are the same size, pretty much the same size as the longer die, okay? So there it is right there, all right? So that's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna bring my mini over here tonight. All right. And we've got our platform, which is right here. By the way, our mini is 20% off, and it is going to, the sale will end tomorrow. All right, so if you don't have a mini, you might want to consider that. It's a great way to get started. I want you to notice that we can see the soft suede cardstock. If I flip this over, we have the adhesive sheet, okay? So we want to be sure that we see cardstock when we're using the adhesive sheet. And I can actually just plop these anywhere. All right. So they can go anywhere on here. And then I'm going to be rolling this through. Now I'm going to turn this way just because it is easier for me to, there we go. It's just easier for me to set it in there and crank it, okay? All right. All right, and I probably should have checked these, but it looks like they have cut out just fine, okay? And that's what I wanted to check on, all right? Hi, Mary Kay, welcome. All right. And so I'll go ahead and I've pulled the first fence out, and you can tell that it's still in there, and there's that white part is the adhesive, okay? And I'm just going to be moving these out of the way. All right. Now this time, look at this one, the last two. The adhesive sheet stayed on the soft suede, but the fence is right there, and that is now the sticky part of the fence, okay? But that's fine. We're going to use it anyway, so same thing happened again. It just peeled right off of the adhesive. And so the fence is now sticky, and it's inside the die. And then we have one more. So all of them did that but one. Now, I'm going to keep this piece of paper because guess what? I can cut more fences, right? And so if I'm not going to do that now, I'll just put it in the stamp case. And next time I go to cut fences, my adhesive sheet is all ready to go, okay? So that's a good little tip for you. Oh, that's a great idea, Melissa. Melissa says she puts the red rubber stamp scraps on the bottom of her mini to keep it from sliding. That's a great idea. When I use the mini on video, it's sideways, and then I have a hard time feeding the plates through the mini. So I don't have as much control over that. Okay, so now I think we're ready to get started. For those who are just joining, this is our card. And I think it's going to turn out a little bit different, okay? All right, so let me pull out all my pieces and parts. Okay, get rid of some of these things here. All right, so this time, as you can tell, we're going to be using some designer paper, okay? And so this paper pack is from the Flowering Fields designer paper. It's part of the Tulip suite, okay? So here's one side of that. Here's the other side. So as you can already tell, my sky is going to be different, all right? So all the designer paper that I'm using is from Flowering Fields. And then here are the tulips right here, okay? So I don't have the designer paper with me, but let's look in the catalog real quick. This is the designer paper that I am referring to. It's called Flowering Fields designer paper. It will retire on May 2nd, okay? It will not carry over. So that's the designer paper being used this evening. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and get our sky on our card base, okay? So I'm going to measure that for you. Let me just grab a sip of water. We are using a standard basic black card base. It is 5.5 by 8.5 inches. We've scored it at 4 1/4. And then when you fold it, you've got your card base. The sky designer paper that we're using is measuring 4 inches across, and it is 3.5 inches. And this is the first piece that we want to put down, okay? So I'm going to get our stamp and seal here, and we're just going to add that to the designer paper. So it's really interesting because this first card that we're making is basically designer paper and cardstock, and then the next one is going to actually be stamping. So with both of these bundles, you can stamp as well as just use the die pieces to create cards. Here's Flowering Tulips paper again. There's the opposite side. They are available till the end of June. You're right. Thank you, Peggy, for correcting me. So the Flowering Fields is available until June 30th, not May. I am sorry about that. I don't want anybody to panic. Don't panic yet. Okay, again, we're 4 inches across, and it is 2 inches wide. And so we'll add the stamp and seal to this. And we want about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Okay. So we're going to put that right there. Now we're going to add some of our fence, okay? And then we'll put our windmill together. And I may have to cut more fences. I'm not sure, so hang tight here. All right, now I'm going to pop this out using my Take Your Pick tool. This is our long fence right here. And let me go ahead and zoom in. All right, again, this is soft suede cardstock. Okay, you could also use early espresso. That would be a nice color. You could use cinnamon cider. That's another alternative as well. So, all right, now this time it looks like I've got to peel the paper off, which is the adhesive paper. All right, so this may be the hardest part, ladies, of building your windmill card. And that is actually getting the paper off of the fence. All right, and then we'll add this one. Okay. And then I am going to put a fence over here. I think we might have enough. We'll see when we get ready to position everything onto the card. We'll see if we need an extra fence. Okay. All right, now I'm going to set this aside so that we can build our windmill. Now, I've already taken the time to cut this out as well as put the adhesive on the back, but I do have a tip for you, okay? Let me zoom out so you can see it. This is a strip of crumb cake cardstock, and it's 11 inches long, okay? So our cardstock is 8.5 by 11 inches, and you're gonna trim an 11-inch piece, 11-inch strip, by 2 inches, okay? By 2 inches, I think. Let me just measure that to be sure. Actually, make it 2 inches, 2 1/8 of an inch, okay? And the reason you're making it 2 1/8 of an inch is so that you can take one of the adhesive sheets, okay? So let me show you. The adhesive sheets are in 2-inch panels. So I'm going to show you those panels. Here is a panel right here, okay? The next panel is here. That's 2 inches wide, and this is the last panel. So if you cut your cardstock at 2 1/8 of an inch, all you need to do is pull off one strip, attach it to the back of your crumb cake or whatever cardstock you decide to use, and just trim off about 1 inch off the bottom, okay? Now by trimming this at 2 1/8 of an inch by 11 inches, you're able to get 4 of these windmills out of one strip of cardstock, okay? So my suggestion is, if you think you're gonna make several windmill cards, cut everything all at once. Make it easy for you instead of just doing one thing at a time. So, oh, thanks, Arlene. I'm glad you like it. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna be pulling off this adhesive, and we're going to use this background die cut, and we're gonna attach the windmill, all right? So that's what we're working on, and I'm gonna peel off some of this. I'm poking out some of these things, and I'm gonna get that point under there. And now what happens is, okay, I'm peeling off all those little pieces, and most of it, I got really lucky this time because most of it peeled right off with it. All right, and I'm gonna poke it through this way. Okay, I like to poke the paper from the sticky side down. By doing that, it falls out easier, okay? So yeah, definitely, Nancy, remember that strip. It's 2 1/8 of an inch by 11 inches, and you'll get 4 windmills. All right, so we've gotten that done. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to poke a little hole in here. And I don't know what I've done with my stamping mat again, but I'm just gonna poke a hole here without poking my finger, okay? So I've made a hole. Now, if you go back and watch yesterday's Tip Tuesday, you'll see 2 different ways of doing this, okay? All right, now these are the round and the square brads, and you get some black square brads. Boy, this is gonna be hard to see, isn't it? All right, so these are black square. You also get white square brads, okay? And then you're going to get some circles, some round pieces right here. That one's really hard to see. It looks like a matte dot embellishment, but you also get black and you get white as well, okay? And these will carry over to the new catalog. Someone asked me yesterday, does the price increase? And I still have not looked, so I can't help you with that. I'm not sure if it does increase or not. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the blades ready. Someone look that up for us. Okay, and by the way, what I just peeled off of this was some wax paper just so that it would release all these little dots. Okay, now I'm gonna poke all the little dots out that haven't been done, okay? And I'm doing that over the trash can. All right. Almost done here. And now we'll do this blade. So you can make the blade stationary with a glue dot, or you can make it a interactive card by using the brad. So now I'm ready to just put that right over the hole. Arlene says the older brads are shorter and they fit much better for length. I bet they do, Arlene, and I probably have some of those older blades. All right, so what I'm gonna do here now, I'm gonna try and pry this apart. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. Okay. Now these are very easy to bend, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bend that and I am going to bend that, okay? And that way, when I turn the blade, I'm not seeing these prongs. I'm going to take a glue dot, and I'm just going to put it right over that prong so I don't have to worry about that prong moving. Okay, and I hope you can see that. And we'll put a glue dot over this one, and we're done with that. And we are going to add some dimensionals. We're going to pop up this little guy. All right. Oops. I know I don't need all those dimensionals, but it's fun. Okay, so Kisha looked up the brads in the Canadian catalog, and they did go up 25 cents. So I'm sure, Kisha, it's going to be the same for us. All right, now I realize we haven't stamped the tree yet, and we will, but since I've got everything already, let's go ahead and let's get this thing attached to the card, all right, and see how the blades move. How cute is that? Now, when we did the sampler class, we used a glue dot and then put a embellishment on top, okay? But for this, we've made this an interactive card. All right, we're not done yet. We also have a stamp in the Tulip Field set. It's right here, this stamped image. And I inked this and stamped it in Old Olive. And then I cut it out using the dies. And I just went on and did that because I knew we were going to spend our time working on the fence and working on the windmill. And that takes time, so. I'm so glad y'all like it. I think part of this card is from the book. It's from the mini. So I'm pretty sure that's where that idea came from. All right. And so there's our card so far. And hang tight. We got some more goodies to put on it, if I can find them. Here we go. Okay, so I did something different this time with the clouds, okay? You get 2 clouds in the die set, and instead of stamping the clouds, I used this designer paper and I cut the clouds out, okay? So that's all that is. It's just designer paper. And we're going to actually put dimensional or 2 on that. And we'll be giving away this card this evening, so be sure to comment. Okay. I'm so glad you like it, Suzanne. That's awesome. Yay. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll add this big cloud. Thank you, Terry. So glad you like it. All right, we're going to add a cloud, everybody. Should we put one about right there? And it is kind of hard to see, though, isn't it? All right, and then let's put a cloud about here. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move it around because it's really hard to see. I think we'll put our big cloud there, and then maybe our other cloud there. Okay, now we are going to add a sentiment, and I need to actually grab, I cut one of these today, but it's not on my table. Okay, so this banner is from, I'm looking for the die set. It's from Tasteful Labels, and I have that. Okay, so Tasteful Labels is going to retire, okay? And I used this piece right here for this card. So I wanted you to know that. This is something I've been using, you know, quite a lot, so I'm going to miss that one a lot. we are going to use the word thank you. And again, thank you is from Happy and Heartfelt. I love this stamp set because I love the font. It's really, really a cool font. And let's go ahead and use that gorgeous grape ink. I know, isn't it amazing what the clouds and the fence do? And honestly, the fence is adorable, but it's a lot of work, all those little pieces. All right, I'm gonna hope that I get this on straight. Kind of hard for me to see what I'm doing. Yeah, I did a pretty good job. All right, so we're gonna pop that up. I could have come down a little bit on that one, but all right, so we'll pop this up here. I know the font is so pretty. Oh, yes, Diane. Diane says, I didn't think I liked the Windmill, but I've seen some beautiful cards with it, and I might have to put in an order tomorrow. I know, it's super pretty. And isn't it amazing? I used designer paper from the same package, and look how different it looks. What do you think? Which one do you like? And I'm going to ask you tomorrow on Facebook, okay? We're going to do a this or that. So do you like this or that? All right. So you have to let me know what you think. I'll let you all look at that for just a few minutes. If you're new tonight, please comment, okay? So that you might have a chance to win this card tonight. Hello, Cheryl. We're happy that you made it. No worries. Yeah, I think the blue might be my favorite. There's a lot more going on in this right here, but still, they're pretty cute, and I love that it's so interactive. It's really cool how the blades can turn. Oh, thank you so much, ladies. I'm glad you like it. Very good. Okay. All right, so we're gonna move on to our next card, okay? And it's right here. Now, how many of you have the Tulip Fields bundle, and how many of you have used it? Okay, you'll have to tell me. I'm trying to zoom in, but now I've zoomed in too much. I can never get it just right. There we go. All right, let me get that out of the way for later. I'm just moving some things around now, trying to make things a little neat here. Okay, so are you ready to get started? Hi, Julie, welcome. Hi, Jeannie, it's good to have you. Hi, Sharon. All right. I'm so glad y'all like the card. Fun. All right, we're going to be using our Stamparatus on this next card to do one part of it, okay? Now, you don't necessarily need your Stamparatus, but I did find it easier, okay? I'm going to move this out of the way so you all can learn how to stamp and create this card. And here I am bringing in my Stamparatus. All right, I need to move things out of the way. I'm going to turn my grid paper over. By the way, the Tulip Field stamp set is a photopolymer stamp set, and that means that it is clear. And so I think I'm going to need to stamp another Windmill. Because it is photopolymer, it doesn't have any red rubber for cushioning. So when I use the Stamparatus, I'm actually adding the foam mat, okay? And then I'm going to add the grid paper so that I don't get ink here, and that I am going to use this grid paper for lining things up, okay? So, oh good, Julie. Well, after tonight, you're going to have to use it, okay? That's the whole purpose for Facebook Live. Okay, so here we go. Let me show you. I'm pretty proud of these, so I have to show this to you. These were my very first attempts, okay? The very first. I don't remember which one was first. I want to say maybe this one, but it could have been this one, but this is the first time I'd ever used the stamp. So it's not that hard, okay? So I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised at how it stamps. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is we are going to need a sheet of basic white cardstock, and it measures 4 inches across by 5 1/4 inches, okay? Okay, so Gail has it and she's used it. I love hearing everyone's comments about whether they've used it or not. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull off my magnets. By the way, these two got together today and they're not supposed to, but I was able to pry them apart with, oops, look, I almost did it again. Look at that. I was able to pry them apart without breaking them today. They did not shatter on me. All right. So I'm going to start about here. This is about the 1 inch mark, and I've got this nice little dark line going across, okay? So I'm going to put that right there, and then I'm going to put this down here to hold it, okay? Now, I have already placed this stamp right here, okay? So let me show you what it looks like. This is actually the stamp that we're using right now, and this is the stamp that's on my Stamparatus, okay? And they're little tiny tulips. All right, so the first thing that you'll want to do is to line up your photopolymer stamp. And when I line up a stamp, I actually, and I don't want to pull this one off because I have it perfect, right? So I just don't want to pull it off right now. I'll pull this one off. When I go to use a stamp with the Stamparatus, I always put the stamp where I want the stamp to be, okay? So if I wanted my windmill here for every single card that I'm going to make with the Stamparatus, this is how I am going to put it on this plate, okay? So I would be able to ink it and stamp it over and over, okay? All right, now these colors, and I'm thinking about trying something different. Would y'all like to try some different colors with this? This right here is pale papaya. This is fresh freesia, and this is polished pink. So these are the in colors that were launched last year at this time. Okay, so we have these colors for another year, okay? So pale papaya, fresh freesia, and polished pink. But I am very tempted to try some new colors. Would y'all like to do that? I don't know if it's gonna look good because I haven't tried it. I'm almost a little nervous to try this. Oh, you like these colors. Maybe we'll stick with these colors then. I'm fine sticking with these colors. All right. Okay. All right. All right, good. Let's go with the colors we have right here. Sounds good. Okay, so we're going to start with pale papaya for this one, which is right here. And I did re-ink my pad today. And, oh gosh, I didn't think about that, Sue. I'm not prepared with the retiring colors. And I wish I'd thought about that. I would do that. Sue says, why not give the retiring color a last hurrah? I love it. Oh, I might have to try that, but I'm not prepared with that one. So, okay, so lining up this stamp, okay, first of all, you need to know that block I fits this stamp perfectly. So you don't have to use the Stamparatus, okay? You can just use block I. It does fit. Now, the way that I lined up this stamp was, do you see this 3-inch line, this dark line? I lined this photopolymer stamp at the top going across that 3-inch line, okay? So that's really important. You want to make sure this is nice and straight. Now, do you also see how this stamp goes up to a point and then goes back out? You want this point to be in the center of this basic white cardstock, okay? Now, I'll show you where the center is. This card is 4 inches across, okay? So I know that right here is my midpoint. That's the middle of the basic white cardstock. And so that's why I wanted that peak to be on that 2-inch line. Does that make sense? This is the middle of the basic white cardstock, and that's where the center of that is. So make it nice and straight going across. This midpoint right here needs to be in the middle of that basic white cardstock, okay? Now we're going to use the pale papaya, and I'm inking this up over here. I know you really can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just inking it upside down. And then I'm going to come across here, and I'm just going to press this to get some ink on the basic white. All right, and there it goes. I wouldn't mind it being a little bit darker, so let's do it again. And that is the beauty of the Stamparatus. You can re-stamp in the very same place. Okay, so we're done with pale papaya, all right? And we're gonna move on to a new color. And that next color is going to be fresh freesia, all right here. Now at this point, I am actually going to move this, okay? And I am going to close this. Now, let's talk about cleaning your Stamparatus for a second, all right? I've got a few tips for you. I like to use this simple chamois. And when I clean my Stamparatus, I use a smaller piece of the simple chamois, okay? So basically what I did was I cut it in half and then I cut it again. And that gave me this little piece. Now the reason I like the little piece is so it's so easy to clean the Stamparatus because it's a small little rectangle, okay? So, I mean, it just makes it easy and it's not bulky, it's not too big, and it just cleans it up. So I like having that small piece for cleaning the Stamparatus. All right, you're welcome, Arlene. I'm glad that positioning tip helped you out. I'm going to go ahead and grab another piece of grid paper. By the way, this grid paper is so useful. Oh my goodness. It is really useful. All right, here we go. Whoops. And I'm checking my Stamparatus because I just laid it on top of a die set. And that's where my dies usually end up. Okay, so now we're back to this piece right here, and I'm actually going to put it back in the very same place. See that guide that I have there? And see where I did this stamping here? All right. So now we're going to get the fresh freesia, and I've got to find my Christmas tree. So it definitely looks like a Christmas tree, but again, it has all those teeny little tulips. Now we're going to ink this up, and this is going to be a little more difficult for me to do, and that is because my phone is right over my hands, so it's hard for me to see. I can't see through my phone to see what I'm stamping, so I can't promise you this is going to be perfect, okay? The important thing here is you want to be sure that you stamp that tree shape right in the center. And again, this is our center, okay, going here, all right? So I want to be sure that I get that right in the center, and I can do that by looking down here, okay? That's my center point right there. That's my other center point. All right, so let's see if I can do that and get this in the center. Again, it's hard for me to see directly over my stamp. Okay, but not too bad. I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to clean this, this stamp again. And this time we're going to ink it in polished pink, all right? This is where it gets tricky, especially since I can't see over the stamp. All right, so I'm inking this up, and I'm actually going to turn it now, okay? And let's see here if I can get, this is really, really hard. All right. All right, we're going to do that. Okay, here it goes. I am just putting this stamped image next to the fresh freesia. Look at that! It messed up. I must not have had good ink coverage, and I'll tell you something else. Now I'm really going to mess it up. I should have been using my mat because I'm on a folding table. Now I really messed it up. All right. Well, we're going to try again. How about that? Okay. So let me get the Stamparatus back out. The nice thing is the stamp is still here, so it makes that easy. And we'll put this back in the right position. So it is a good idea to use your Stampin' mat when you're stamping with the photopolymer stamps. So I probably should have been doing that. I'm going to ink this up again in Pale Papaya, and this should only take me a second. Thank you for being patient. All right, I think I'll do it again. And also, you know, when you start playing with this particular stamp set, give yourself some grace because you're learning something new. It's something totally different that we've never really done before. I don't think I've ever stamped anything like this before. All right, but you see how fast it can go. All right, now I'm going to bring my mat in, and I'm going to bring in my grid paper. Okay, and then I'm going to put this about right here, and I'm going to clean this stamp, and then we're going to get we're going to use fresh freesia now. Okay, all right, and by the way, make sure you don't have ink on your block. Make sure that is off. All right, so here we go. All right, and I think that will work. Okay. Okay, got that one. Now I'm going to clean this. Again, I'm using that chamois, just that little piece. It makes it so quick. And this time I'm going to ink in polished pink. Okay. All right, so here we go. All right, and I'm going to put that next to it. Okay, so that's our first one. It's not off too much. Again, I think it's something I could definitely do better if I wasn't on camera. All right, and now we're going to do one more here. Oh, this is so hard to see. I can't see over this. Okay, but as you can see, my stamping's so much better with that mat. That mat was a huge help. All right, we're gonna go back now and we're going to add fresh freesia, okay? Now y'all have gotten really quiet. Like I haven't seen comments in a while. So I don't know if you've left me or not. All right, we're back to fresh freesia. And again, we're getting that point up in there and we're gonna squeeze in this piece right here. All right, I'm not doing too bad for not being able to see what I'm doing here. I think we're gonna have more over here. Okay. All right, not too shabby. I'm pretty happy with that, especially since I haven't been able to see over the stamp. Carol, I've been holding my breath. Carol Hodges says, I've been holding my breath while you stamp. I've been holding my breath, believe me. We did it. We did it. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is, and I can actually move my mat for this next step. We are going to take one of these lovely Post-it notes right here, and we're going to add it right across that line, okay? All right. Oh no, you can do it. You can do it. All of y'all can. If I can do it, girls, y'all can do it. Okay, so I've covered up that area. And you know what? Hang on. I'm covering up that area that we just stamped because we're going to do some, I can't even think of the name of it, what we're going to do. We're going to do some sponging. And we're going to use one of our blending brushes. And we're going to use Pool Party, okay? Thank you, Peggy. I need all the encouragement I can get. Okay, so here we go. I am doing this in a circular motion to grab the ink. And then I'm going to start off the grid paper and then move in. Okay, I like to put my finger up here on top of the head of the brush. All right, let's get some more ink here. And we'll start here and then move in. Do that again. I think I need to add ink to this pad. All right, now let's just lift this piece of paper up and let's see if we've got our sky. So that looks pretty good. What do you think? All right, so we'll take that off. All right, and now we have our sky. What do you think? Isn't that cool? And our blending brushes are so amazing. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness, Sue. Sue says, I think the trick I learned tonight from you is don't have a good view of where you're stamping. You seem to do good, really good, even though you say you can't see everything. Oh, that is hilarious, Sue. I absolutely love that. Sally, go charge your iPad. Go charge. All right, we're going to use some Old Olive now, and we're going to bring in one of those stamps from the Tulip Fields bundle. And this is the trees, and I know they're really hard to see. Let me show you here. You see this? That's what we're about to stamp, and it makes the trees look like they're in the distance, okay? All right. So again, we're just gonna stamp, and we're gonna stamp right across this edge, okay? And I'll zoom in so you can see that a little bit better. And we're just gonna stamp all the way across. All right, so there's our stamped trees. Isn't it pretty? The colors are so beautiful. They're really pretty together. This is Old Olive, but you can also use Pear Pizzazz, okay? All right, now some of the things I might have cut out. Hang tight and let me see. Was there anything else? I'm pretty sure I had cut out my clouds, but I need to find them. What did I do with them? Here they are. So I've already stamped my clouds and cut them out, but we do need to stamp the windmill, okay? So we do have to get that done, and we're gonna also stamp the greeting, okay? Now the greeting is from the Flowering Tulips bundle, and the greeting is, "No one deserves a happier birthday than you." And I'm going to use some gorgeous grape with that sentiment. And by the way, this die cut is from Tasteful Labels, which I just showed you a few minutes ago. All right, so we have that, and let me grab some basic white paper here. All right, and we're gonna stamp our windmill, but I need to grab a block. Okay, don't look at this block because it is super dirty. I have a whole stack of blocks that need cleaning. Does anybody want to come over and wash my blocks? I need to get them done. All right. I'm going to use the pad again, and I'm also going to use the black Memento ink, okay, because we're going to color the windmill. All right. And stamp it right here. See how that turns out. I know it's a really pretty set. I'm shocked that it is not carrying over. I just felt like with the Flowering Tulips in the new annual, I thought for sure the windmill set would be in there too. I really did. All right, let's grab the windmill die. Here you go. And then we will cut that out with our mini. I'm gonna turn mine sideways so that I can crank it. All right. All right. And all right. Now, one of my customers, and I don't know if Diane is watching tonight, but Diane Moore kind of turned me on to this Post-it tape, and it's 1/6 of an inch, okay? And it's just another alternative. If you don't have a Post-it note, let me show you what I'm doing. Maybe I'll take it off of here and show you what I'm doing. I'm gonna add this here, okay? And then I can tape that so that it doesn't move, okay? Now, our magnetic platforms are coming, and hopefully we'll see them maybe in July, okay? So it is happening. All right. There we go. And remember, our mini's 20% off, okay? And it's wonderful for like little things like this. Oh, And there's my windmill. Okay, grab that, and then you can just peel that up. And I'm going to put this die away so I don't lose it, okay? And while I'm at it, I've got a few other dies I need to put away. These fences. So hang tight. All right. Okay, so we're going to do some coloring of the windmill, and I'm using the light and the dark suede. Now you could also use probably our natural tone blends. You could use those. I want to color this. Hang on real quick. Looking for something. I know that's hard for y'all to see, so we'll put it on that, okay? Alrighty, so we'll start with the light. No, I'm going to start with the dark, I think. Yes, washi tape also does a great job. Alright, so this is the dark suede right here, okay? And I'm just taking some of those shadows, those lines that are in the stamp set, and I just kind of highlighted them with that. Then I'm going to take the light soft suede and I'm going to color this in. Now you could also use cinnamon cider. You could also use crumb cake if you wanted to color your lighthouse with that. Okay, so you've got lots of options. Gosh, you could even do a gray, like a smoky slate. I'm trying to think what else. Gray granite. So I'm just going to color all of this in. I'm really doing a very quick job here. So, all right, and now we're going to do the paddles. I probably could have left, you know what? I probably should have left those holes white. That's what I did on the original card. So I will show you the original. All right. So yeah, Lloydette, as far as I know right now, I'm not in the path of storms. I did listen to the evening news. So right now I'm okay. So hopefully it stays that way, right? Absolutely. All right. Okay, so that is soft suede. And now we'll go ahead and let's actually put this card together so that we can pop everything up. I am grabbing some paper. Okay, we're going to need a polished pink card base. And we're going to want to cut our pale papaya, and hopefully, nope, it's not long enough. Hang on 1 minute. Let's get some pale papaya here. All right, so we're going to want the pale papaya to be about 4 1/8 of an inch. Okay. And then we're going to want it to be about 5 3/8 of an inch. And I'll show you why I've cut it this way. Okay, so this is a standard card base that's 5.5 by 8.5. Okay, and we're going to add this layer right here. Okay, all right, so let's do that. Again, this is the Pale Papaya. It's an in color that came out last year. Speaking of in colors, we have 5 brand new in colors coming on May 3rd. And beginning next week, I'm going to be talking about each in color and about my in color share box. So be looking out for that all next week over on my Facebook page. All right. I'm going to put that over that because I put adhesive on the grid paper. All right, so we're just going to center this now. Hang on. Piece of paper or something. All right, and guess what? We're going to be giving this away in just about 5 minutes or less. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to pop up our greeting. Oh, Arlene, that's so cool. The windmills are adorable. I have 2 of my family married into Dutch. Oh, how wonderful. Wouldn't this be perfect for them, Arlene? Absolutely. Wow, absolutely perfect. All right. And let's see here. Whoops, everything is sticking to me now. All right, so we are popping up the windmill. Okay, and we're gonna put it about right there. And we're gonna use a little wink of Stella on it, okay? So I'll zoom in now. And we'll just add it on the blades and the whole thing. This wink of Stella is just coming out quite nicely. I don't know if you can see it or not. I don't think this is my best coloring job, but that's okay. I'm just kind of going over it again. And then this is where we're going to add the clouds. Now these I've stamped ahead of time and I inked them in Pool Party, okay? So that's Pool Party ink. And it looks like I've got 1 large one and 2 smaller ones, okay? So let's see if I can find, that just fell right on top there. All right. Oh, cool. Peggy says she has 3 friends going on trips to see the tulips. That is so cool. Gosh, I would love to do that. I think one of the reasons Stampin' Up! Chose the tulips is because it's a universal flower. Am I correct? I think I'm correct. All right. Okay. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you like the colors. Awesome. All right, let's get this big cloud on here first, and then we'll position the other 2, okay? These mini dimensionals can be tough to maneuver. I know, it does sound like a wonderful trip. Absolutely. All right. And now this time, where should I put this cloud here? Do I have room to put it anywhere else? There we go. Just like that. All right, so this is the one that we created tonight. And then this one is the original. All right, so I did put the clouds in different places. So what do you think?